Did I start or did I take a picture? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so first off, let's understand what molarity is, and then we'll see how we use it. Okay, now this isn't on your notes, but it's just to help us understand the concept. Okay, molarity in chemistry is a measurement of concentration. Okay, hopefully concentration is a word you're familiar with, but in case you're not, once again, this isn't on your notes, but hopefully it's just to help. Okay, so concentration refers to how much of something is dissolved in something else. Okay, so when, for example, the Great Salt Lake is extremely concentrated with salts, right? Like there's more salt in the Great Salt Lake than there is like in the ocean. It is very, very, very concentrated. The opposite word for concentrated is dilute. Molarity is a measure of concentration. So the higher the molarity of something, the higher its concentration, the more stuff there is in it, is what it means. Sometimes it can be seen through color, right? Like, I mean, if you were to make Kool-Aid, the darker the Kool-Aid, the more concentrated it would be, right? Or vice versa. Color doesn't always show, because some things in chemistry aren't colored, they're clear, but sometimes it can show it. Okay, so here's our definition of molarity. Molarity is the concentration of a solution, and it's a measure of moles compared to liters. Okay, so when you take those two things and compare them in a fraction, it gives you the molarity. Molarity is somewhat similar to like how density is calculated. So density is calculated as, I just forgot, mass by volume, there you go. Right, so molarity is moles per liter. Now, notice what's really cool on our map. Molarity is what connects moles and liters. Right, these two things together give you the molarity. Okay, now, fun fact as we're moving forward on the quiz for this unit, I will put this map up on the whiteboard. So you don't have to have it memorized, you just need to know how to use it. Okay? Okay, now with, everyone okay if I go to the next one? Oh, side note, molarity symbol is just a capital M, so that's the way you can abbreviate molarity, is just a capital M. Make sure you do it capitalized though, because lowercase m means something else. Okay? So once again, this is what it means. So when we see 2M HCl, what this is telling us is it is a molarity of 2. So you have 2 moles of hydrochloric acid in 1 liter of it. Once again, so if I had a liter of water, I would then put 2 moles in it, measure out what that would be to make my molarity of it. So the higher the 2, or the higher the number with the M, the more concentrated the solution would be. Okay? So let's take a look at a few problems of using molarity. Okay, so this problem says how many moles, so circle the word moles everybody, always circle what you're trying to find, keeps you on the right course. Okay, how many moles of HCl are required to make 2.5 liters of a 6 molar, I'm going to move it down so I can circle it again, HCl solution. Now this is where things are a little bit different because I'm given 2 things. Okay, so we're trying to find moles. Okay, I'm given liters and a molarity. Now, think of it like a map. Our end destination is here. Okay, I'm given molarity and liters. You don't start your destination on the road. You have to start your destination at a place. So we're never going to start with molarity ever. That will not lead you in the right direction. So the thing I want to start my pathway with is the liter. Okay, so I'm going to put 0.250, I'll do my color here, liters as my starting point. Okay, so make a little side note to yourself. We don't start with molarity because molarity is a pathway to get us somewhere, but it's not a starting place. Okay, now set up our fraction. How do I know what goes on the bottom of the fraction?
Liters.
Why liters?
Because you gotta
Yeah, I'm leaving liters. Diagonal pattern is always true. Okay, so liters is on the bottom, and what am I trying to change liters into? Moles. And can liters and moles be connected?
They
Yes.
can't.
Yes. Right? Once again, this unit we're only doing one step, but eventually we're going to start doing,
2 step.
right,
Wow.
2-step places. Which the cool thing is, hey, don't roll your eyes, it's fine. It's not any harder once you get it. It just is a little bit longer. But the pattern never changes. That's what you want to grasp on. Okay, so I'm putting mole on the top. Okay, any questions about why I put the units where I did? Do the units first, the numbers will take care of themselves. Okay, now the thing that connects these two lands together is the molarity. So this is now where that 6 comes into play. The 6 tells us, 6 capital M. Okay, so when you have something capital M, it's telling you that there's that many moles in 1 liter. That's what capital M means.
Oh.
So now I can take that and plug it in to there. Questions on that? And then plug it in your calculator. And what would be my label 1.5 what? Of? Good. So all answers should have a unit and a label. Okay, questions? Okay, let's try the next one. All right, for a smiley face, circle what we're trying to find in this problem. Okay, if you circle the word molarity, how a smiley face?
Let's go.
It says find the molarity.
You know, so you didn't get any smileys last time, so I gotta find. Okay, now, this problem is different because of what we just circled. That's why it's important to always figure out what you're trying to find. Any thoughts of why this is gonna be different? Where's molarity on our map?
Kind of like the middle.
Yes, it's in the middle. It's a road. Okay? When you're finding a road, it's not going to be a travel connected process. It's going to be, we just need to bring two things together. So when you're finding molarity, it's just a single fraction together. Okay? Because we have our moles, so we need moles over liters. So our moles is 10.0 moles over 2.5 liters. And it's just a fraction problem. Okay, because we brought the moles, we brought the liters. It's not a cancellation, we're not trying to change the unit. We just are bringing them together. So 10 divided by 2.5 is?
4.
8. How would I label that?
4 capital M.
Good, Cal. Yep. So you do capital M and a F. It would also be acceptable if you wanted to write it as 4 mole per liter, because it means the same thing. You can do that as well. So, questions on how we solved that problem? Okay, let's do one more, and then the rest of the time we're just gonna keep practicing, okay? All right. Okay, this one says a chemist needs to prepare 3 liters of a 0.25 molar solution of potassium permanganate. I'm underlining what I know. I'm gonna circle what I'm trying to find. Okay? Point. Okay, so we're going to say like point this way if you think we should start with the 3. Point to the window if you think we should start with the 2.5. What number should I start with? You're pointing to the wall, have a smudge.
No, I was putting 2 walls.
I was pointing at coach, so obvious.
Now
I
you're
have 5 meters pointing at the wall.
Okay.
I had 11 pointing.
Okay, now we're going to do for this last practice problem, don't say anything out loud. I'm going to solve it on the board, and you're going to be my teacher and grade me. Okay, so you're going to check if I'm correct. If you think I'm correct when I'm done, give me a thumbs up. If you don't think I'm correct, give me a thumbs down. And you can do it on your paper as I do it with mine and then compare, okay? Okay, so give me a thumbs up or thumbs down on how I did.
No. You stop. 1 bowl for 0.25 liters.
Why not, Brian?
Make a
It doesn't make sense. Make your fractions make sense, because they should. Okay, there's not 1 mole in 0.25 liters if that's the molarity. Now notice though, if it was a different type of problem, could the 0.25 go on the bottom?
Yes.
When, Kyle?
Oh, I just know that you can like switch them when you're trying to find different things.
No, you're correct, yes.
When you're trying to find liters.
Yeah, if the mole unit needed to be on the bottom, then the 0.25 would be on the top, because that still keeps it a true sentence, right? Just like with feet and inches, if I flip the fraction, right? If the fraction is like this instead, right, the numbers have to flip too to keep it true. So don't become like, follow the pattern, but don't just try to memorize like, oh, put things on the top, put things on the bottom. Just put them where they make sense, because they really should. So, any questions with molarity?
No.
Okay, the rest of the time we're just gonna practice. So what I would recommend is if you haven't finished, I would recommend actually that everybody, if you haven't finished last time's homework, I would still recommend starting on today's right now, just to kind of like do at least 3 problems of it to kind of get it in your head. But then you're welcome to work on whatever yellow homework you need to get done. Okay? And then I'll just come around and help as needed, and when we have about 10 minutes left, we'll turn on the ridge. Yeah.
Okay, we're trying to find molarity.
So after today, every yellow paper in your packet should be done. Did we make it through our 15 minutes without? I mean, our 15% lasted?